Excuse me.
We run a professional podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
No, actually, I did not know that.
Yeah, I won't besmirch anybody, but good time.
How do you besmirch? What is a besmirch?
After a smirch.
Hey, everybody. I'm Kevin McLaughlin, and this is
Paul Robertson,
Welcome to the Riffs and
Rhythms Podcast.
How's it going, Paul?
Good. I know we always say it's been a minute between we don't cross paths, or we got our own lives outside of the show, and this time it definitely felt like
Seems like a long time.
It seemed like a long time ago.
Been a couple weeks, I think.
Yep,
maybe.
yep.
Did we take a week off or something?
So it just feels like it's a whole week. Since we last saw each other. So
I know.
I know. I miss him.
Hard to make it so long.
Cue the sad music.
So how have you been? The kids must be huge now.
Wait. Yeah. So let's give a little clap here to Devin there. So that was a very good drop there. Yeah. So good job. It's our best money that we don't pay him. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Speaking of that,
yeah, that's right.
Dramatic music drops. We were on some streaming service that actually makes you watch commercials.
OnlyFans?
Nope. They don't have commercials on OnlyFans, do they? I've never even been on. Yeah, right.
Only Kevin's.
That's how you know he's cheap. Is he pays for the commercial accounts only. So anyway, we're watching this commercial for a cruise line, and they're playing an orchestral arrangement of Freebird. When we're halfway through the commercial, I'm like, that's Freebird. And it was a beautiful orchestral arrangement of Freebird, straight up. And we thought it was just like a little segment of it so they wouldn't have to pay for licensing, but it was the entire 30-second spot was Freebird orchestral arrangement.
Do you know they were sitting in the studio and trying to think it's what to play for that commercial, and somebody yelled out, Freebird!
Oh, now we know.
True story.
Yep. So speaking of true stories,
Yes.
we've got some guests in the house.
We do. So before we get there, I just real quick recap is, again, we've had some amazing guests. We've got amazing guests tonight. I just do a little field trip report. I know where we last left off over the last couple weeks, there were some upcoming shows that I was talking about going to, and at Tipsy Tiki. We saw the Jenna Tortures play there.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I got my CD signed. Did
your Jenna get tortured?
It did, So
did you volunteer to go up and get yourself stapled to the ground or whatever?
No, I did not. So but they did have the opening guy who was actually part of the show. You go up there and he had a staple gun and you staple money to him. It was like a no joke.
Yeah,
that's part of the show. That's part of the show. So yeah. So I saw Jen again. This was she saw it. She goes, "Wow, this is one of the way back CDs kids. They used to put things into a disc player, and she's."
Excuse me.
We run a professional podcast.
Okay. No, actually, I did not know that.
But so she was cool. Got an autograph. Tried to talk to her about maybe come on the show because they're trying to promote their tour, and apparently the person who's supposed to be the contact is not responding. So okay, whatever. And then a week later, I went to.
Wait.
Yeah, okay.
There's more to say about the Jenna Torturers.
Yes,
the show was good.
Show was fun. It was entertaining. Some technical challenges with some of the things, which was kind of sucked for them because there were some issues. I won't.
Technical difficulties?
Yeah, I won't besmirch anybody, but yeah. But it was a fun show. I had a good time.
How do you besmirch? What is a besmirch?
It's after a smirch.
Oh. Okay.
So
is that like
no? Besmirch is like you don't want
rate merchandise.
No.
Is that what it is?
It's B. Yeah, it's like B rated. It's like you don't want to
like when you're a kid, your parents goes, "Get that besmirch off of your face."
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No. It's like you don't want to say something bad about somebody. You cast a, you don't want to give them a bad name or anyway. So
it sounds like they did that all by themselves.
Go get a thesaurus.
Okay.
All right. So Yeah.
A thesaurus?
Sorry, yes.
Is that? Didn't they have one of those in Jurassic Park?
They did.
Okay.
Yes. So anyway, we had a good time. Brian Shaw there from Sweet Release. I ran into him there that night as well. Had a familiar face again. I went up there solo and ran into somebody I knew, which was fun. So Sunday night, Easter Sunday.
So what you want to do is you want to check out the Jenna Torturers. If you can see, she's got like a knitting needle through her tongue, right? They're into like the sadomasochistic bodily mutilation.
We won't open it up because we may have to censor it out.
And back in the day, they would perform like all the way back, like as far as the late '80s, early '90s, they would be playing, and their claim to fame was that they would. Her name is Jen, and they named the band Jenna Torturers, and they would torture people's genitals by nailing them down to a plank during the show.
So
that was the deal.
Sign me up.
So you
Right?
never know if you show up and get circumcisions.
From what I remember, the line for that was not very long, so there's no waiting for that treatment.
There's no fast pass at this ride, okay?
Yeah,
So
Do not come.
exactly.
So if you could get a hold of some old school videos of them, you'll get a chance to see people being nailed down.
So it was fun. It was a good little nostalgia for me, and seeing this. And we did review their song a couple weeks ago. There's Scars and Stripes Forever, right? With Jim and Bobby, right? So that was a great time. So yeah, so she was
And,
again.
by the way, great music and a great band to see.
Yeah, so they're out there doing it. They've been doing it for 30 years. That's my whole point. It's just for chance when I was a teenager. Obviously, having talking to Bobby in that episode from Overkill, having him on, and again, I was reliving a little bit of my youth back in the day. And then later in that week, I went down to Matthews Brewing, which is a pretty cool place. Big open area. They had a touring band come through, Spread Eagle. I talked about these guys too. So I got the two original members to sign my
Now, where are they
cassette.
from?
They are based out of New York.
Okay.
And they are definitely some raw, rockin' hard edge.
I see a
music.
theme going on here.
Yeah, what's that?
Jenna Torturers, Spread Eagle.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
And Paul, no wonder you were so aggressive with the beating of the ice.
That's right.
He's getting into the whole subculture, everyone.
That's right. That's it. Going down there.
Right
Anyway,
on.
so that's my.
Let's not.
Let's
delay
get
any
into it. Yeah,
longer.
because Devin doesn't have a microphone tonight, and he's going to be crazy on the drops tonight. So
We've got two guests wondering why they even showed up in the first place at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen the Blunatics, you absolutely must do it. We've got Dave and Robin from the Blunatics here. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you.
So, tell us all about what you guys got going on.
Take it, Dave.
Well, we are playing around, up and down the Treasure Coast. We're fairly still new, and did a couple different. I mean, actually, let's back up here a minute. Robin and I met back in, it must have been like February of 19. 2000,
least.
yeah, 2019. So we've been.
Oh, it's ancient history here.
Yeah, I mean, we just we met actually at a jam night, and I was introduced to her by Port St. Lucy's friendliest drummer. That'd be Doc Brown, great jazz drummer. If you guys know him, he comes to the jams a lot. Anywho, so he introduced me to her, but we were at a jam at
Harry and the Natives.
Harry and the Natives.
No kidding.
Yep, and that was in February, I believe, of 19, and we just kind of hit it off, and played some music together, and it seemed to work. So we kind of started. I said to her, let's throw some blues down, man, and get something going. And she was down for it, so we did, and we formed and got a couple characters in there. So that's kind of where it originally started, and then that was called Blu-ray. We came up with.
Oh, because
That's a good name.
Because we were a blues band, and we had a tiny, tiny little closet of a rehearsal space on Monterey Boulevard, right up in Stewart. So it was BLUREY. And so we thought that was kind of a good deal.
Oh, instead of Monterey, it's Blu-ray.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But I have to be honest with you, I knew nothing about blues music when I met Dave.
Really?
I was just trying to get back with my ex-husband, and he was part of the hosting of the blues jam at Harry and the Natives. And so I started showing up, pretending that I knew what I was singing, and so
Did it work?
Yeah, actually, it did.
Oh, good job.
Well, we got back together for
Okay.
another 5 years, and then actually I was playing music with him currently at that moment. We moved down here in 2014, and within 2 years the wheels fell off. But we were going to open mic nights and doing duo stuff at open mic nights, and got an opportunity to play over at Double Roads, and so we formed this duo called That Man and Robin, because he was my ex-husband.
Still one of my favorite band names of all time.
Yeah. It's a good one.
And it worked out. But before we started really, we were playing together, but we split up. And
That had to be difficult.
it was, because at one night, I'm singing on stage, and I'm looking at my ex-husband, and I'm looking at my boyfriend, and then I'm looking at his girlfriend, and I thought, could this get any weirder?
Wait.
Well,
wait.
probably.
Yeah. But
Hold on, my bingo card just went off the table.
And so we wound up getting back together during that process. But then I met Dave. He showed up, and he was sitting next to Doc, and Doc's like the sweetest guy in the world. And I was approached to it, and I said, oh, I guess I have to do some homework, because I really wanted to have this opportunity to sing with these guys. So
Very cool.
yeah, it was great. It's been great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys are a great band. And in short order, you ended up rising to the top and being in the International Blues Challenge preliminaries here in Port St. Lucie.
That was the first time that we rose to the challenge.
Yeah, we had some original music. I wrote a few songs, and ultimately, I mean, that's the goal is to get original music. You know, I mean, I salute
Amen,
anybody that does original. I mean, the covers is okay, as we all know who plays, but at some point you got to kind of graduate high school and venture out and get innovative and not so much duplicative. Is that a word?
Correct. It is correct usage of the English language.
Great.
As for a guitar player, that's really good.
Thank you.
He's smarter than all of us.
Anywho, so we just kind of all chatted about it. After a couple formations from Blu-ray, we formed the Blunatics, which was a name I had in a notebook for many years, probably 15 years, along with some other names. Gandhi's Gunmen would be the next choice, but we didn't go with that.
That's what is the word for that?
That was just
Opposing ideals.
That's
put
correct.
Together.
Yeah, that would be more your harder rock band, harder blues band. Gandhi's Gunmen. Anywho,
He'd be shoot you peacefully.
well, it was Robin Upchuck and the Dry Heaves. Now that one was one I kept in mind. But anyway, the Blunatics just seemed fine. I was looking for lunacy and wanted to play blues.
Right.
So lunatic with a B in front of it. Blunatics, as some of them say.
Oh my gosh, that is the name that is most abused on the planet. Like,
The Blunatics.
ladies and gentlemen, the Blunatics.
Yes, at the Riverwalk a couple years
That
ago.
was harsh.
They called us the Blunatics, but the Oneaters.
Well, you guys have gotten some help, and you've overcome your balloon addiction.
One of the things that we found that we had to do is continually educate the audience throughout our shows,
As we still do, yes.
as we still do. What's our name? And we bribe them with little toys and candies and small childlike antics, because we were lunatics.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was the whole.
Not balloon addicts.
No.
You're blue.
Blunatics.
I think, Robin, you need to perform in a blue straitjacket.
Who says I haven't? I
Okay.
wasn't being paid for it. That's the only difference.
The straitjacket idea.
Was this with the boyfriend or the ex? Or like I said, I'm still trying to get my
That
bingo
would
card
be
off.
hot with your arms all tied.
Yeah,
You're
that's right.
singing with the mic on the stand.
I'm a Jersey girl. That would be the most painful experience ever, to have my hands tied.
Wait, whereabouts in Jersey?
I grew up in Chatham Township, which is North Jersey, Morris County, and then the last 20 years before I moved down here, I was outside of Philadelphia in Moorestown.
Okay. I grew up in Middlesex County.
Okay, where's that? No, I'm kidding. What exit?
I keep hitting my head on the microphone because he's making me laugh.
I'm only teasing. Middlesex
Yeah.
County is like right in the middle
Yeah.
of the sex.
Right.
Thank you.
So is there an upper sex county and a lower sex county as well?
Ridiculously,
Of course there is.
Is there a kinky
Do I have
sex
to
county?
explain? Do I have to explain you what upper sex is?
Vanilla sex county?
Get him a book, please, Tracy.
Middle sex county? Is that exit 69?
Yes.
Okay.
Right off the Parkway.
Right on.
Right on.
Okay.
Anyway, so the Blunatics.
There we go.
Oops. See.
So it begins.
No, yeah. So
We do respond to that as well.
yeah. So the area. So 2019, you guys got together, started forming. Now you're in a 4-piece. How long has that been? That 4-piece has that been since 2019?
No, that was.
Well, the actual Blunatics, yeah, that started after we had the COVID thing, and then we had Willie in the group, and
COVID kind of broke up Blu-ray.
yeah,
Ah, okay.
and then I just kind of had the idea for the Blunatics, and I came to her. I mean, she's got a great graphic background, so I mean, I came to her with the idea of the logo, and I wanted the Blunatics as you see it, and the U. I wanted a smile with the two googly eyes over the top, and I got that idea from Crew.
Like a
Motley Crue.
umlaut?
Molly Crew, yes.
Total Crew fan.
With the dots, just because I go back old school. So anywho, we did the dots. I said, let's make that a smiley face with the googly eyes. She sends me some ideas, man, and what you're seeing on the logo now is what it is. So that's been, a couple years now, and we, did our thing with the Blunatics for a while, and then. As the common tale is, you have musical differences. Somebody wants to, bring an accordion in the band or something. I'm being funny.
I sold it. I sold
Okay.
it. I did have an accordion at one point in my life.
He just wouldn't let you have a solo.
I never get the solos.
She does on a kazoo.
I do. I do have kazoos.
You
She
play a
did have a
kazoo on
kazoo.
stage?
I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kidding.
absolutely.
We're the Blunatics. Yeah.
It's like it's like one of those instruments, but there's only one note at a time, so you can only annoy people a little
I
bit.
actually had somebody come up to me after a set and pulled me aside and said, if you ever want kazoo lessons, I'd be happy to help you. I was like, are you
What?
kidding me? It was a joke.
I hope
But
so.
thank you. But thank you. I think there was some kind of double entendre in there.
Oh, well, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Anywho, moving forward.
He was angling on trying to get free kazoos, is what it was.
Do not come.
I'm sorry. That was worse than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Anyway.
Sorry, David. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just
What were you saying?
catching you up to speed.
Yeah.
Anyway, cast of new characters came in here, so that's been about a year and a half or so, I think.
They were going on almost 2.
With who we got.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
we took the time because we wanted this kind of music that we do is we do covers, but we like to try and change the arrangement so it's familiar, but it's not exactly
Right.
Very cool.
And so, not really having a strong blues background, I was kind of pushing the agenda of like, can we take this disco song and make it bluesy? And Dave would put it into the the grinder, and out would come different versions of songs that
The Dave Bird Bluesifier.
he's like, you put it in and he crunches it out, and it's just it's
Well,
so fun.
she'll come up with some really good ideas. I mean, we do a Prince song, and I'll put the Prince song in the bucket there with a little Brian Setzer and a little bit of something like that, and mix it up with a steel spoon because wood harbors bacteria. Wooden cooking spoons, so I'm told. Anywho, you use a steel one.
Yeah, but they sound better when you hit people with them.
Yeah.
Or ice.
And you mix that shit
Or ice.
like silly putty, which comes in a shell shaped like an egg. But you do all that and pull it out of there and mold it, twist it, beat it, braid it, knot it, polka dot it, whatever you want to do to it. Flip it upside down, give it a damn good whacking. And now we got Kiss, the song Kiss by Prince, and we got the Brian Setzer feel to it, or, rockabilly, which I love. And we do that with a lot of stuff. So if you come to see Blunatics, you'll hear a few things. Beatles, we'll kind of do it our own way. She brought a great rendition of I Saw Her Standing There, which is now I Saw Him Standing There,
little bossa nova,
and James Bondish.
James
and,
Bond kind of flair.
and, so we just have fun with it. And you just taking something, like a song, from the 80s, because we are children of that era, and Eurythmics and Prince and whatever. And, like I said, just mix it up. And people seem to respond to that. And, you just put it up that flagpole, see who salutes it.
So it took, yeah. So I mean, we got Andy Koval on drums. We got Steve Dunlap on bass. Steve Dunlap plays the bass player for Rob Arendt's band, Happiness Club, and we started getting to know each other. We went through the trial of auditions, which is always so much fun. And
Almost as fun as the dentist.
yes, true. And so I walked up to Steve one day at an open mic night, and I said, "Hey, Steve, you're a bass player." And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you know any bass players that might want to play in a blues band?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Who?" And he goes, "Me. Hello, you have a blues band and you didn't ask me?" I'm like, "I just met you. I don't really know you that well." So we got the bass player, and then we did the auditions for the drummer, and it took us a while to try and say, this is the kind of, Dave and I have been together, and we don't want to just play run off the covers and one after another. We really wanted to make it our own. So we did take about almost a full year to 10 years, at least 10 months of being like, okay, everything needs to be finely tuned into our own style. And if you're
it's got to fit, it's got to feel right.
It's got to feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, drummers, as you know, and I mean, you got to have bass players and drummers got to be like white on rice, man. I mean, it's just got to work. And drummers, you got to find a guy with the right feel and, another common tail. Same thing with the bass player. So, and blues is, people think that that's easy, and it's not. I mean, there's a lot of things involved, and you guys know that. Shuffles and duples and whatever in
Duples.
yeah, duples. I believe it's a drum term. Is that correct? Paradiddles, duples,
Yeah.
and yeah, man. So you got to get the right guy, and of course
We talking Chicago, we talking Texas, we talking
Texas,
all that.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, and of course that's where our certain influences come out, But yeah, she's right. That took a long time to get the right feel, and we still, you got to throw things at them once in a while, to get to straighten these guys out.
I think it was always, and maybe that's how when you perform some of these covers and you've kind of made it your own form, is I always find, and maybe this is how your crowd reacts, is like, wait a minute, is that Prince? It's almost
Right.
like, damn it, why do I know? Why does this sound? It's like it starts getting like earworm kind of feel, and like, why does that sound so familiar? But it doesn't. It's like.
It is like that when you watch that, because I saw you guys. One of the times you played at the Riverwalk Festival, the Rock and Riverwalk, and I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, what the hell? are you
What did
doing?
they do to that song? That's cool.
I started doing it with That Man and Robin, because if you're a female singer, everybody thinks, oh, you must sing Stevie Nicks, or you must sing Janis Joplin, and I'm like, I don't want to sing the girl songs. I want to sing the guy songs with my energy or whatever. But I really never thought I had any style whatsoever. All I knew is that I want people to be able to tap their feet, sing along, and then go, wait a minute, Landslide's not supposed to be in a reggae tempo. Why not? So it always made people stay around, because everybody does Tom Petty, like Tom Petty to death, and I just people do you know Tom Petty? I'm like, I do, but I do not play him. Or oh, do you know any more Fleetwood Mac songs? And I was like, no, I don't. Why not? Because
Everyone else does it.
it. So
No, that's awesome. That doing something a little bit out of the norm and differentiate yourselves from every other band here. Locally that's going to play the same set list and songs and so
Yeah, you
forth.
got to be different, or else why would anyone come see you?
Yeah.
for the most part, it's pretty much how many people can we raise from the dead while we play their song in an arrangement that they never envisioned.
Yeah.
So Patsy Cline, man, she comes back to life to haunt us every time we play, Walking After Midnight.
Yeah.
And I love that song. It's a lot of fun.
We'll put funk to that stuff, and anything that's I can put the Stevie Ray sound to something, or the rockabilly. You come to see Blunatics, you're going to get something a little different, and you'll get some standards. I mean, we'll throw out funky music and some of the typical stuff that gets people to dance, but the idea, and it's always been to me, is I want to capture attention as a band. I don't want people looking at their phones like they're in church.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Get out
Put a
there.
whole new spin on church.
Pay attention. Just pay attention. Demand that attention, and you're going to do that by music and how you perform and how you conduct yourself live, which to me is very important. But yep.
It's never a dull moment with him. He is.
Well, that's a
he's
good
a
thing.
surprise on stage too.
So, looking at the second half of June, what do you guys have coming up in that area of the calendar?
Oh goodness.
Well,
haven't memorized it.
this month we got a few Philly Down Souths coming up.
Really down south.
We have Double Roads,
We got Double Roads.
and we got the Hoffman.
Oh, very good.
That's like a 4-hour gigger.
It's a 4-hour one,
Yeah,
but it's early.
You've done that.
I've done that,
Yeah.
just recently.
And that's where you're on the water and the sand, and the guitar strings start turning to rust, even though they're new. You got to wipe them down. But it's it's a good time. But yeah, 4 hours. You gotta you can stretch some stuff out.
The Hoffman was where I got to express myself atop of the picnic bench that they have there. Just, you've got a wireless
Little
mic.
table dancing involved?
Why not?
Rock on.
They were done, I think. Eating. I think they were done.
Well, as
eating.
long as you
I'm
don't
pretty
launch
sure.
a plate, you'll be good.
Yeah. What's better than table dancing and conch fritters?
No, that's Conky Joe's. This is
okay.
German food.
Wiener
Very
schnitzels.
serious.
Oh,
Very
yeah, Hoffman?
Wiener
serious.
Schnitzel.
Wiener
Hoffman.
Schnitzel.
Oh, I haven't. See,
Wiener
I
Schnitzel
only show up to see you.
Spätzle.
I only drink and see you perform at the Hoffman. so.
Apparently, I very rarely get to eat the food where we perform because they give you a little credit, but then you're just like, yeah, didn't get to use my credit for the food. But apparently, everybody said it was excellent food.
Is that because
the
the rest of
brown
the
gravy,
band?
the brown gravy at the Hoffman is amazingly
Do you
good.
drink it or do you?
Well, you put it on stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not doing shots or anything.
No shots of brown gravy.
Did you ever try their glockenspiel? What? No,
Yeah, I banged it a few times. It rang out true.
it does. Polizeichundplatz. That's German canine talk. We can get into that later.
Oh yeah, he was a cop.
I've never.
What? So wait.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Well, luckily I don't know any canine commands.
Yeah,
it's
well,
hard to hear them when
there's
you're
a few-
running that fast.
There's
though.
a few, right. And there's a reason why they use that German commands, but that's another story.
Because they're German dogs.
Well, you
Right?
can you can teach a dog Italian. La bagnarola, stugazze. And there you go. That's
Okay.
I was called that when I worked in the Italian bakery.
yeah, it's a
in
dirty
high
word.
school. I know,
It's a dirty
stugazze.
word. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, so that's that. But what are we talking about? The Hoffman. Yeah, cool place, rusty strings, glockenspiels.
They
And
serve a glockenspiel.
I think I saw
Seriously?
one. Yeah, the Fräulein brought one out on a plate.
Okay. Did it come with a little mallet that can go ding dong dong dong?
No, didn't see the mallet.
Okay. I'm missing something with the glockenspiel.
It's just it's a good word to say.
It was on the menu right underneath Farfignugan.
Oh, but it was
Farfignugan.
yeah. I like my glockenspiel this side of Farfignugan.
Yeah. So that, and then we got the Pearl coming back up, and a couple other things. So,
Oh yeah.
Cool.
yeah.
yeah.
There's a few things.
We've had we have private gigs and stuff in between there too. So
Well, we got bidded. Right? We played a benefit when somebody bidded on the band or something.
somebody sold us off. They auctioned us off.
At the Double Roads for a benefit, I think it was. Yeah, so we got bidded on and bought, and we just haven't been used yet.
Well,
I'm looking for the beating. I mean, and for the
So that's coming up. So yeah,
Execution.
a few things coming
I
up.
thought we abolished that many years ago.
oh, I've been auctioned off. It's fun.
Yeah. Is this the most eligible bachelor in Fort Pierce?
It was a while ago. Don't quite remember the details.
He's Mr. November on the calendar. He's all 12 months of the Kevin McLaughlin. Yeah, why don't you have a Kevin McLaughlin calendar? You pimp yourself out for everything else.
Nobody's gonna buy that.
If you build it, they will come.
No, I'm not gonna do a Kevin McLaughlin calendar.
Yeah, boy.
So you guys you've seen Dave perform,
Absolutely.
and he likes to see who's paying attention when he's performing, and he makes all sorts of weird face.
You do have the facial expression.
I can't
thing
see
going
him. I can't see him from the inside. But I've been seeing photos, and yeah, it looks painful, and I'm not sure what to do about it. But that's just how it is.
on. For a while there was
There's an
a
ointment for it. but-
there was a yeah. It's called anti-monkey butt powder.
For the face?
Yeah, if once your monkey butt swelling goes down, the facial expressions minimize a lot.
Your ass, your face. What's the difference?
I mean, there are times when I'm singing and I'll be looking over at Dave, and he makes this face at me that like he crosses his eyes or something.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Good fun. Yeah, I make faces at her or anybody, so it's good.
What I was getting to was a long while ago, there was this online video went viral. It was this kid. He was like a 13-year-old kid that was doing a tutorial on how to do facial expressions when you're playing guitar. Did you ever see this?
Guitar
No.
face.
It was great. It was great.
Is that like bass face? Bass players?
Yeah, it was like,
sometimes?
well, sometimes you play a note, you got to make it look like you just smelled something bad. It was good. Yeah, when you play a high note, you just like that. Remember, like when your little brother took your favorite toy. It was great. It was a really cool video.
Yeah. No, we'll have to
You should do a video like that.
Dave
Lunatic facial
Dave is just
expressions.
like
Yeah.
crossed eyes, like it's just hysterical.
I don't really know what it looks like. I mean, other than seeing it later and somebody's equated to other things that you do
It
in
has
life,
made me
but-
lose lyrics quickly
Oh,
because I'm laughing. He makes me laugh a lot.
you're breaking character like in Saturday Night Live.
Oh, if there's not even a character, that's just who he is.
Well, there's Chester Wingsworth, who's also a proud graduate of Mickey's School of Flying. He's into aviation, enjoys turbulence, and watching people run on the ground like ants, and just being closer to God, who's also your co-pilot. When you arrive at Mickey's School of Flying, our competent staff will be there to greet you, and our flight instructors are the best in the nation. And if you're concerned about accidents, we have a licensed veterinarian on hand at all times. So ride with pride when you fly. Contact Mickey's School of Flying and be an ace.
All right.
I don't know.
That's what I'm talking
Our new
about.
sponsor,
This
Mickey's
is
School
what-
of Flying.
Yeah.
This is what band rehearsal is like. He's very stoic, and then when something like that comes out, you're like, what?
You know, if we ever need to take a break, both of us can't make a show. I think these two would be perfect
Yeah.
fill-ins for us. They could need their own podcast.
Yes. You guys would make a good podcast duo.
Well, thank you. We've been rehearsing for that. for many
Pre-rehearsing.
years.
Pre-rehearsing.
Rehearsing.
That's a good word.
Pre-rehearsing, that's when you make sure you're not too tall for that last vehicle ride.
I just want to
Yes.
let you know I do have a degree in English Renaissance literature, and it still has not been used.
So it's your first language?
Apparently not.
Well, there you go.
Oh my God. So all right. So enough craziness now. So now that we know a little bit more about you guys, so we've got a segment here called Tales from the Road. So do you got any great road stories, gig stories, anything like that?
In any category.
Any
Anything
category,
more
yes.
funny, embarrassing.
Maybe it
Once
was
in a lifetime.
Maybe it was in middle school. The tuba player. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Dave has
Go
got
for it, Robin.
Dave has a lot more history on the road. And when you say on the road, for me, it's like driving down the street and setting up. Like Dave toured
Well,
extensively. So
no, I mean, no, you got something somewhere. I mean, you were Batman and Robin. And,
I know most of my
something.
experiences. You go through the phases, and because I'm relatively new to this whole thing, when we got asked to do our trial go at it at Double Roads, Batman and Robin, like I had played in a little a band up in North Jersey. We did mostly charity work because we weren't good enough to be paid. But it was like genuinely, like I was with these guys for 10 years, and we actually started a coffee house for teenagers so they would have a place to play out, basement bands. because we were all in basement bands in high school, and but it was never. I had 2 young kids, and I was like, not the typical soccer mom. I was a soccer mom. I was the coach too, but like this was really the first time that I had an opportunity to perform, and with That Man and Robin was the trial before I met Dave, and I had a really, you play certain places and you look at the tip jar at the end of the night and you're like, wow, $13. I still have to pay the waitress like that much more because it didn't even cover. And you get a little depressed and you realize that, it's got to be something more about that. And so we were performing over at Guanabana's one night or afternoon. And there was one couple that set up right before they were eating while we were setting up. And they stayed for all 3 hours. They didn't leave. And right before the third set, I went down to them. I said, well, I've been watching you guys. Something about your energy has drawn me over to you. And I'm really, really, I want to know why you're still here. And she said, well, 2.5 months ago, our daughter died. And we have not left the house. And today, my husband said, today we're getting out of the house. I don't care where we go. We're from Boca. And we're driving north. And I don't even know anything about this area, but our car wound up here. And we had lunch, and we saw that the band was setting up, and so we stayed. And I can't tell you, like, every single song you guys sang just reminded us of when we first met, because we like to do the AM radio dial of the 70s kind of music. That was our spiel, whatever. And she said, like, you just brought joy back to us as a husband and wife. And I realized that it's not about the tip jar. It's about the connection and the audience and the people and what, you don't know what's going to happen when you get up on stage and what people are going through that are looking up at you with limited experience that I had. That was probably one of the most profound realizations, that it's not about the tip jar and it's not about the management arguments and it's not about the hauling the equipment in and out. It's really about what you bring to the stage and who you affect when you get there. So that's my.
That's awesome.
That is a great story.
Thank you. Well, it went further. I told her about a book called Signs that you can learn to communicate with those who have passed. And I told her about a story about my dad with a rainbow and how I communicate with him with the rainbow. I know this is going to sound kind of hokey, but on the way home, we exchanged numbers. And she sent me a text message, and she said, Robin, I'm on 95. We're going down to Boca. And we were talking about what a beautiful afternoon it was and how it reconnected us. And there in front of us was this double rainbow in front of us. So we realized that we were starting to connect. So, yeah, it was really cool.
Wow.
Oh, even better.
Even better. Awesome. So, Dave, tell us.
Well, it's a little darker than that.
Go for it. Let's balance.
Well,
let's
not
balance
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, I can. What'd you say? Tales from the road?
Tales.
Or-
Let's
Tales
get the
from
fun.
the
Let's get the
road.
fun stuff going.
No, the only thing that I could think of, several things briefly I can go through. One comical thing I remember playing in a band, and I'm from Ohio, so I'm in Northeast Ohio area. So I'm up in Akron at a place. Actually, the club was Ripper Owens, that name, Judas Priest singer. Later, he had a club up in Akron, and we're playing, and it's a blues band, and the drummer. So this didn't happen to me; it happened to him, but it kind of scarred me and him, literally. So he's.
So you did something to the drummer?
I did nothing to
that
the
left a
drummer.
scar?
You're going to find out. So he goes. We take the break. The lights go completely dark on the stage because we're done. We're coming off the stage. What he didn't realize is when he stood up from his drum phone, the cushion came off, exposing the thing.
The
right?
post.
The post, correct. The drum post. So we go out there and we're chatting it up with people, and the captain, I'll call him, and we still talk about this to this day. And we get back on stage, and Captain goes to sit down, not knowing he knocked the cushion off when he came up, and proceeds to sit, barely missing his arse hole, and cutting his pants, which were dress pants, I think we were wearing that night, ripping that and just missing him, internally and cutting him from the back. And of course, that woke him up, snapped him to attention real quick. And we all, he he was nervous. And, the thought of everything, it's like, okay, we're going to have to take the drummer to the hospital because he's got a drum post up his arse. And anywho, that didn't happen that way. But to this day, he remembers it. But he bled and it just missed him,
Oh, wow.
So that was just.
Probably your first story of a man, being able to relate.
But speaking of blood, and then from there, it gets a little bloodier.
But wait, it's more.
There's more. I'm playing at a place also in Akron with a blues band, and we're finishing the set, and this song was Chicago Bound. Yes, I believe it was Chicago Bound. Anywho, we are playing that song, and a couple people are standing there at the bottom of the stage, and they're looking, and they're standing in front of me, and I got a black Strat with a white pick guard, and they're kind of staring at me, and they're smiling, and I'm doing my thing and getting into it, and not realizing what they're looking at and what they're smiling. And finally, I look down, and I got blood all over my shirt, and my white pick guard's got blood splattered all over, and I'm looking. Now, I play pretty heavy strings, and I hit very hard. That's probably 12 gauge, and I'm using at that point. And then if I play a couple nights in a row, I might drop it down to 11s and 10s. But to get that sound, I strike very hard, harder than I probably have to. But it's just how it is. We hit hard. Cutting my thumb wide open, not realizing I'm playing. Some blood is all over the white pick guard, which actually looked cool at the end of the night, like Alice Cooper. And
Or Ozzy
so they're
Osbourne.
looking, and they're mesmerized by the blood. And of course, I'm not feeling anything right until we're done with the song. And when you look down and see your thumb filleted open a little bit, you start feeling things. So that was that. And of course, again, I took the picture of the guitar. I just thought it was kind of cool with the blood on the white pick guard. And that's that. Speaking of blood, again, I got a singer in another band many years prior to that, and he's singing and proceeds to get a nosebleed while he's singing live. And he's trying to, do things and stop the bleed coming out. He's turning to us. He don't know what to do because, it's getting embarrassing. So bass player says something to the wife out there right after the song. Would you happen to have a tampon? He can put it up his nose, leave the string hang out, which was funny at the time. And but of course, we took a quick break, and he
Like a Devo thing?
he had a Devo. What?
They did something.
Oh. Anyway, it was just a funny thing at the time. The visual of a string hanging out of the singer's nose. And to stop the bleeding.
You must have had quite the nostril for that to be a necessary
But
tool.
anyway, it was just funny at the time. Yep.
Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
But the most.
Don't look at me when you say that ever again.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Scoot over a little bit there.
So, Dave, would you describe these blues bands you were in more like punk blues?
No, it's just no.
I play blues, black and blues music.
Yeah.
Wait,
Iggy
but
Pop
that
plays
was
the
a
blues.
hair band, though, right?
Black and Blue was, yeah. Jamie St. James on lead vocals, who later went to Warrant, but that's another story. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Black and Blue was a band.
But these stories come from your hair band days, right?
Yeah, there were some hair band days.
Can you describe your hair? What it looked like?
Well,
Well, let's hold on to
Yeah, we can hold on to
let's
that. We
hold
can
on
hold on.
to,
We can get to that.
our our other stories here about Dave's hairband days here. So, I know we're running up here on time here, but before we, again, it's time's flying by here real quick
know,
here.
it
It is. We're having so much fun.
But before we go, can you guys come back next week and share? I know we got more stories here, right? So,
Absolutely.
but before we go ahead and wrap up, do you guys have any MVPs? Is there any shout outs that you got that you want to kind of recognize people here in the community, Treasure Coast area, the music scene here, or here in Jupiter, or just your third grade music teacher, or somebody that kind of you wanted to say, hey, I want to recognize so and so.
So going back to high school, there was a English professor or teacher who he started the original drop-in center, and he was the one who gave bands, local bands, an opportunity, high school bands, to come out and play. Every Friday night, it was a high school band night, and then they had a battle of the bands at the end of the summer. And I mean, I was so into it, and I used that model for what he did to create what I did when my kids were really little, and I was like, "Get me out of the house!" And so starting that, so Mike Chupka, you know, I don't know where his whereabouts are right now, but I would say that. But locally, Gary Frost is probably my favorite human on the planet as far as music connectivity. The most gracious individual. He's an instructor. He holds many open mic nights. He is definitely an earth angel. Holds space for a lot of people, and has given a lot of everybody that I know. It's like it shows you the music family and how deep it runs. And no matter what's going on in your own personal life, you have that music family that I never got to experience until I moved down here to Florida, South Florida.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, Gary, where's he got any open mics?
Gary is over at Angelo's here in
Okay.
Jupiter.
Tony
Every
Penna.
Monday nights
Yep.
from 6 to 9. And then he also holds down a Brewhouse Gallery Thursday nights. And then he's a local musician, plays around every other night, and also teaches lessons, and just, man, great.
And he's part of the Fat Cats with Vince, right?
Yeah.
Vince, right. Yeah.
I think they're still playing out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Dave, any?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, and I got to say, probably the Blues Society here locally.
Okay.
I mean, Sandy Griffith, man, is she? I got a story about her, and we can talk about next time. But how?
No, go ahead. Fill us in.
Well, no, it's nothing bad. I mean, it's a great story, but she's so supportive of so many people. She supported, I mean, us and anything that anybody does, and Elaine and Mark on the board. I mean, the whole Blues Society itself. I mean, and I moved down here, and I got kind of rolling back in 16, and they were just so welcoming at the time. Elaine, everybody, and different board members at that time. And I got to say them, because it's just like, again, the support. And I was in a blues association up in Northeast Ohio, but it's a whole different camaraderie here, man. I mean, it's just wonderful, and it's embracing, and it's just, I can depend. I mean, if I send something to anybody or tell somebody is going to show up, most likely. So I got to say them, just
Yeah, Sandy's
Really.
great. And
Yeah.
all those people that you
Hard
mentioned
worker,
are hardworking
Yeah.
proponents of the blues, keeping the blues alive.
And that's something. That's a great point, Dave. I know the Blue Society's open jam family picnic was supposed to happen May 4th. It rained, and Apostoli was supposed to play, and all those things. But I saw that looks like I was a little jealous, because I was like, I know it rained out and so forth. And I saw you performing with Freya, and it looks like the Blue Society kind of rallied around to come and see you perform.
Yeah, well, with the
yeah.
event canceled, I'm like, hey, why don't you guys come over and see our
Yeah.
show? And,
So,
and they
yeah.
came.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They support music.
Yeah. So very, very cool. So all right, yeah, Sandy's awesome. So, well, cool. So, this again, time flies by, and we've got some great stories here. We've got a podcast happening within the podcast here with these two lunatics.
You can say it. Just say it.
No. Say my name.
What's my name?
Lunatic.
Rock on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
fill us in on what's new with you, Paul. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So
You just redecorated the rum layer.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We, due to a little bit of water mishaps in my house, we had to tear out a whole lot of carpet and so forth, and spent the whole weekend putting new wood floors down, and that was not fun. Again,
What is it? The rum cave.
the rum cave. Yeah. So speaking of the rum cave, I made a little bit of video there for Cinco de Mayo recently. That's probably my first rum video in a while, and I'm actually gonna, I think, coming up here soon, is kind of do a little bit of differentiating between the Drums and Rum show, because I think it's kind of getting lost. I've got a lot of good following now from drum content that I've been putting out there, And I find that if I put some rum content out there, videos, etc., it doesn't go over well. So I think now a lot of the people that are following us, that are
Rum Paul videos don't do well?
well under now that a lot of people that are following are a lot of drummers. So that's kind of where, and I always had, and I thought this would be a challenge. And two, also spoke with our previous guest a little bit ago, or one of the drummers, about maybe doing some drum related podcasting to continue bring back the other show that I have is called Drums and Rums, which was started in 2020.
Well, you've been really
So-
focusing on the rums.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So yeah, so that's why the drums are stacked up, because I've been hitting the other side of it a little
Maybe
much,
if you
yeah.
focused on the drums.
Yeah, I should do a video to see how much I can get off timing, and drink. But I don't really,
shouldn't take
I don't,
long.
yeah, I don't think I need
That would
alcohol
be
to get
a
off.
super short
Yeah.
video.
Oh wow, he just started, and he's already off from the metronome.
Beat 2, and look at that.
Oh, I didn't even take a sip yet. So, but yeah, so lots going on there as far as the Drums and Rum show, and yeah, we're having a great time here, great episodes, and yeah, so I think we may split some things up, may do a little bit of rebranding around that, but other than that, but yeah, the Drum Cave, it's got nice new wood flooring now, so glad it was only a 12 by 12 room, but yeah, so that's it.
All that, and you can do floors too.
Exactly.
Write it down.
Call me if you need any remodeling. So what's up with you, man? Oh.
I need a remodeling.
Okay.
She does. She wants to have a remodeling done.
So, what's the difference between modeling and remodeling?
Well, once you model, you have no choice but to remodel.
So is that like somebody who's like a model, like for swimsuits?
Yeah. Then that's when they can't wear a swimsuit anymore, and they just wear flowing gowns on the commercial.
So they're
That's
just
a remodel,
remodeling.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right before you get to plastic surgery, and then you go back to the beginning and you can model again.
Anyway, so speaking of that here, so yeah, you're in the middle of a tour right now.
Yes, due to the magic of future technology
A film.
at film. Yeah, we're
Yes.
using film. This is art. So
It is May 20th, and you are currently somewhere in
I am
the
at
UK.
May 20th. I am actually at this moment. I am sitting in at a scheduled sit-in night in Eastern London.
Very cool.
Yeah. So the Kevin McLaughlin UK tour goes from May 16th until June 8th.
So if you're watching this, he may be here, he may not be here. So
Yeah. Due to AI enhanced computer generated imaging, we're able to make this happen.
So what if we cloned you?
Powered by Grok.
What if we took some of your DNA and cloned you?
Oh man, I want an army of me. So what?
Tracy's
Tracy's
like
going,
one
"Yeah,
Kevin,
he does."
one Kevin's enough.
Yes, because I would have a whole pile of unrelenting perfectionists who could actually do things to my own standards. But what you want to do is, if you have a Facebook account, you can subscribe to the Kevin McLaughlin Band page on Facebook and see all of the shows live streamed. It's a whole $1 a month. Actually, it's 99 cents a month.
Oh man.
And I recommend that you do it on your computer because Apple fees apply
Yep.
if you don't have an Apple computer anyway.
And check out some of your merch, right? That's right. Merch
Yes,
or Beast merch?
Apparently, yes, we have Beast merch. And we've got the Kevin McLaughlin Band shot glasses. We've got the CDs, if you are able to use such a thing. We've got all kinds of T-shirts. We've got new T-shirts coming in, which we need to add those designs to the online store. But if you go to kevinmclaughlinband.com, you can click on the merchandise button and go to my store and buy everything in there.
Very cool. So, do you guys got any merch?
We have a tendency to just give away everything for free.
Oh,
Well, yeah, I do that too. I get in trouble for
So,
that,
like-
actually.
I'm trying to think here.
Yeah, shirts. We need to. I mean, we've had some shirts over time, and we're just out, and probably need to come up with a new design. But
It's
we throw those out.
The
Yes.
Blunatics rubber chickens.
Yep.
Yeah. We have a,
That rubber chicken has asthma.
we ask people if they want to get laid.
Well, now.
We got disco balls. We have.
I'm glad it's not blue.
No, it's not.
balls.
But you know the
Yeah,
dollar.
you guys should hang out. Have
Blue shiny balls.
No,
Lunatic
so
balls.
the Blunatic stuff, we know. We have a bucket, we call it the fun bucket of blue. And so we just throw it out there on the floor, and it's like digging in this sandbox, people. These are
googly eye pins.
the googly eyes, and we got the magnets. And we just throw everything with candy. We like to bribe people to stick around,
That's the best
works.
plan. Bribery is
And
powerful.
I actually almost watched like a female cat fight over one of these disco balls. It was hysterical. So like you never know what's going to happen when you throw out this stuff. When people go free, they kind of like walk up to the bucket and they like, free, yeah, free.
It's weird because Kevin usually throws bras out to the crowd at his shows.
Yeah, there's some people in my crowd that need to have a bra on that shouldn't be going around without one.
You're just making peace.
Yeah, I'd like to support the crowd.
There you
love
go.
that.
Yeah.
There you go. But we do have a website. That's Blunatics.com. What was it again?
The Blunatics.
There you go.
TheBlunatics.com.
Yeah, and that gives you the schedule.
We
but,
are on Facebook. I was actually picked off of Facebook. Yeah, so the Facebook page we have, you can see. I don't think we're connected with Instagram yet, but we are old school. So
Is our MySpace still up, Robin?
my face,
What?
my face,
Yeah. MySpace. MySpace.
my space.
Is it still up? We still have that up and running? No? I'm being facetious.
I know.
Okay.
I think MySpace still does exist, but
Oh, that's it.
it does, but not in the form that it originally did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
So
don't know
make,
what they do on there,
I
but
think it's like a red tube channel or something.
I don't know.
Sorry,
people-
he knows what I'm talking about.
Kevin knows everything.
Yes.
Actually, MySpace was a music sharing site for a while.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like right around the time you were born.
No,
Yeah,
more
MySpace.
recently than that.
It's right here. It's
After-
musicians.
After it lost popularity as a
What
Yeah.
was
Social
what was the
media.
original use of MySpace?
It was like Facebook,
It was,
social
yeah.
media.
Oh,
but it was all
was.
musicians who used it.
Yeah. Hey, you
But then
doing
eventually it became like a platform for like sharing or streaming or something.
uploading stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not confirm or deny the fact that I've shared BitTorrents across platforms.
It's out there, baby. It's
I
out
heard
there.
about that. I don't know what it is.
Cannot retract it. It's forever.
Your camera turned on while you're wherever we're.
That's right.
So don't forget to also check them out on AOL too. In the chat room.
Yeah.
So all right, very cool. So yeah, we're gonna have fun. You guys come back next week. We'll chat up a little bit more, some stories there, talk a little bit more, some music here, local Georgia Coast Blues Society, a lot of
Yes,
other
we're-
venues.
and we'll
so-
be reviewing a song next week.
That's right. We'll be reviewing a song next week. So don't forget to check out the Riffs and Rhythms podcast here on the audio channel, Apple, Spotify, etc. Check. You're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And on that audio channel there is Under the B3 Podcast Network with some of our fellow podcast shows there. That's where the Drums Show lives, or eventually, and I'm mumbling. And Jams and Cocktails. Wait, went a whole episode to the end before even mentioning Jams
I know
and
this
Cocktails.
is
yes.
no one of the things that Paul's got going on.
I
is
self promote other shows that are part of the
he's
network.
got a raging bromance for Brad Brock.
Aww.
And it's always like a question: how long is it going to take before he mentions?
I'm
Brad
gonna
Brock?
show you. I'm gonna show you some pictures he sent me from his trip in Vegas.
He's already.
So,
He only
yeah,
left
that's right.
today.
I don't want to see this.
Yeah,
He's already sent you pictures. These guys are tight.
yeah. So check out the Riffs and Rhythms podcast there.
Oh, and don't forget, we have Riffs and
Yeah,
Rhythms
so
merch.
That's right there. So
If you haven't been able to notice this on the back
yeah,
wall here,
we're hoarding ourselves out.
you can buy Riffs and Rhythms. And actually, I wear this T-shirt right here. Not this actual one, but these are well-made shirts. Like if you don't have a shirt, this is definitely better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely a big shout out there to our music festival major host or our sponsor there, Chris from Knox and Dunn. There, he's
Yep,
hooked us
Knox
up with
and
his shirt guy, and that shirt.
Knox and Dunn rum.
Yep, he came up with the design there, the front of the shirt. So yeah, so definitely. Well, that's the great thing is once part of the show, whether it's a review or being a guest on the show, we add you to the list of opportunity to perform at a festival. So again, we are still working on some of the details for Riffs and Rhythms
Riffs and
Fest.
Rhythms Fest 2.
Yep. So I think it'd be very, very cool. I'm thinking the lineup here is like the Smoke Boss Militia with these guys and on the same bill. Oh, it's great
I
lineup.
love Smoke Boss. They're great.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
them.
Andy and
the
Lucy.
Andy and
Blunatics.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah.
And some of the other people we had on.
Yeah,
too.
some of other whoever's not important right now. So, all right, so we're ready to wrap this sucker up here. So don't forget, we also have a Patreon tier. Click somewhere on the screens and you'll see it. So support Kevin's. We need more, obviously, more Jim Beam. So please think about becoming a Patreon member there. It's only, you start off at $3 or $5, whatever.
We need a bottle sponsor.
We do. So
We used to have some bottle sponsorship, but we've lost our bottle sponsorship.
yeah,
He talked too much and ruined everything.
yeah. Just look at all those empty bottles behind you on the floor.
Hello.
Yes. It's not because I drink a lot. It's just because they get empty too fast.
On next week's episode, I'm going to tell you about how I was trying to land us a bartender. So I'll save that story for next week, and how terribly wrong I think it went.
Oh my gosh, that's such a cliffhanger.
Stay tuned next week.
Next week, we'll find out the secret of the almost had a bartender.
All right, so we're ready here to
Yes.
wrap this up. Here?
Paul?
No, let's do this right here. We should do these in our Kevin McLaughlin shot
Oh,
glasses.
yes, absolutely.
So yes.
Kevin McLaughlin
So,
band shot glasses.
yes.
Robin's already shot. So, here's to musical success for everyone involved.
That's it.
Salud.
See you next week.